A cursory look outside the window if you live in the National Capital Region would have shown you a horrible low-hanging brown haze. It hurts the eyes, it makes it tough to breathe. But this is an annual reality in one of the most polluted areas in the world. Reports now say that you live at least 10 to 12 years less than you may have if you lived in an area with cleaner air, a statistic with no meaning for millions in this region who have no choice but to stay and breathe what is all around us, essentially poison. While the air quality in the capital spiked to the dark red or severe category in some parts, the real impact of toxic air can be studied through the concentration of toxic micropollutants. In Delhi today, PM 2.5 counts in Anand Vihar, an area notorious for high levels of pollution, touched 999. That's 70 times the upper limit set by the World Health Organization. At Srinivaspuri, the PM 10 count was 691, which is 15 times the long-term safe limit, which essentially means it can cause chronic respiratory illnesses. At Mandir Marg, the PM 10 count was 679, which is nearly 16 times the safe limit. At 3 p.m. at National Stadium, the PM 10 count was at a whopping 602, 13 times the safe limit. While PM 10 pollutants are toxic, the lethal cancer-causing micropollutant PM 2.5 can penetrate the lungs and can cause long-term pulmonary diseases and even affect the heart, the kidney and the brain. So where is this all now coming from? Multiple sources for sure, but satellite data doesn't lie. The farm fire situation in Punjab, agricultural stubble burning, an annual feature this time of the year, has galloped in the last 5 days. Let us show you what we mean. This is data which comes from NASA's WorldView satellite. The red dots show farm fires. This is an image of the 28th of October. Government data indicates there were just 127 fires. On the 29th, it went up to 1,068. On the 30th of October, it went up to 1,030. On the 31st, it shot up to 1,389. And yesterday, it raced to 1,921. Let's take a look at an animation package which shows the changes in the number of farm fires in Punjab. There's been a 1,410% jump in farm fires in Punjab between the 28th of October and the 1st of November. Today's data comes out tomorrow. Across North India, even satellite imagery can pick up the haze that we've been speaking about. Let's show you yesterday's image and compare that with a random day when there is no real air pollution. Now, this is a normal day. I picked the 3rd of October. It shows North India. As you can see, it's all largely green. Here's what North India, including Punjab and large parts of Pakistan, looked like yesterday. Let's compare the two in a split screen. Let's now superimpose areas of farm fires into this image. But joining us now, we've really got some of the finest panelists on this in the country. Professor S.N. Tripathi, member of the steering committee of the National Clean Air Program. Dr. Romil Tikku, director of internal medicine at Max Super Specialty Hospital. Chandra Bhushan, the environmentalist. We're also joined by Jyoti Pandey Lavakare, the author of Breathing Here is Injurious to Your Health. Professor Tripathi, let me come to you first. There's been a dramatic rise in farm fires from the 28th to now. Is that what is causing this mess?
Well, fire counts definitely in last few days have risen. But if you look at data compared to 2022, when I was looking at it, and PIB also has posted it, there is a significant reduction in overall fire count over Punjab and Haryana. This is as much as 60%. So in last probably 1 or 2 days, probably October 31st and November 1st, there is a rapid rise in fire counts. But if you look into the data for entire October, I think there is a substantial decrease. So probably it would be really early to say that it's all causing because of farm fire.
Sir, there is a decrease, but that's because the real uptick in farm fires, and can we just have that image on of the farm fire situation in Punjab today? The uptick in farm fires has really not started in Punjab till 5 days back. That's because of weather patterns, the accumulation of water on the soil, freak weather patterns and floods. So that burning of stubble was delayed. It's happening now, and there's been a 1,000% plus rise in farm fires in the last 5 days. Isn't that what this is all about, the present situation?
It could be true. I mean, it's early to say. As I said that we can only compare data for a month basis, right? Every day between this year and earlier year would be hard to compare. But I would admit that maybe the fire counts have decreased, but with the increasing temperature and climate warming, decreased number of fire counts still can have higher emissions because of more intense fires. So that is one thing also people are looking into that very closely. And probably as we have some more data coming through in next couple of days, I think we'll be able to comment out that in a more concrete way.
So, this is Punjab, this is government data, and let's have that up full screen, for just a moment so that we can sort of spread this around, get more data. Let's have this full screen for a moment. Yes. This is from the Consortium for Research on Agro-System Monitoring. It's a government agency. On the 28th of October, there were approximately 127 fires, major ones that they're reporting. That went up to 1,068, that went down slightly, and then since then it's been rising. And we'll have that map up as well in just a moment, which will actually show you that all of Punjab is dotted now with these farm fires. In fact, smoke images, which are now available and visible from satellites as well, indicate that large parts of North India have got smoke. Chandrabhushan, how critical is it right now? With PM 2.5 counts in some parts of Delhi, for example, touching 999 in Anand Vihar.
Well, it is for everyone to see. It is very bad. I mean to say, the visibility is so poor that you can't see even few meters. It's actually also a danger for transportation, traffic. It will have impact on our transportation sector, but health-wise, it is very bad. 999 is the maximum, reading that AQI can go to, and you already have that at Anand Vihar. So it's very bad, Vishnu, but I think I want to come on this issue of farm fire. It is the beginning of farm fire season in Punjab. There is farm fire also in Western Uttar Pradesh. And the impact of farm fire also depends on wind speed and wind direction. So, whatever impact we are seeing now, it is the beginning of farm fire season, and then we have Diwali. So it's going to get bad. The contribution of farm fire to air pollution in Delhi could be about 20% now. But as farm fire increases across Punjab, parts of Haryana and Western Uttar Pradesh, we will see even more contribution of farm fire. But currently in Delhi, it's a combination of farm fire, our local pollution issues, as well as pollution that is coming out of Delhi-NCR. But what it tells you is that despite all the efforts that governments have made over the last 10 years, there isn't much to show. The results are not there. We will have to radically think, solutions for solving this problem. Whatever we are doing, at least for winter months, the results are not there.
Dr. Rommel Tikku, in simple terms, exposure to PM 2.5 at these levels, I'll come to that question in a moment. What you're actually seeing is, look at that date on the bottom left-hand side of your screen, October 28th, fewer fires, it goes up, and it's just rising. Dr. Tikku, my question to you is, in simple terms, how is this killing us?
Well, this toxic air that we are inhaling has short-term effects and long-term effects on your health. The short-term effects are which causes dry cough, stuffy nose, chest congestion, which is happening to almost every other person. With the kind of haze around Delhi, the kind of toxic air that we are inhaling, it has to happen. Almost every other person in Delhi is coughing at the moment. For the last 2 weeks, we have seen enough people coming to the OPD with chest-related complaints. More so in elderly, the children, the ones who have other chronic lung disorders, heart diseases, it's worsening. The viral infection is spreading from one person to the other, and it's that smog is refusing to settle down and everything has failed. See, the particulate matter enters your bloodstream through the respiratory tract. It goes to each and every cell in the body. It not only affects the lung and the heart, it affects each and every system not only leading to these upper respiratory tract symptoms, but in the long term, it can lead to COPD, stroke, ischemic heart disease. It affects your blood sugar levels. It can cause cognitive impairment. It can cause dementia. It can cause depression. You name it. Everything can happen. And you don't know the way out. It's getting worse. And Diwali round the corner, I don't know what we're supposed to do with the graded response action plan already into place. I would advise people to stay indoors or get out of Delhi if you can. No more morning walks. As long as the toxic air is out there, outdoor activities have to be curtailed. More so for the ones who are elderly, 65 and above, children, the ones who have chronic medical problems. They should stay indoors. If you have to step out in this kind of air, wear a mask. Inside your house, use air purifiers, use those plants which improve the air quality, whatever you can do, so that at least for those 8 to 10 hours when you're at home, you can breathe fresh air. Because in the long term, as we have seen, there is enough data that this toxic air, the particulate matter 2.5 at this level, can really affect your lung condition, and it is also carcinogenic. Apart from lung cancers, it's also associated with other cancers as well. And people in Delhi right now, I'm sorry to say, have nowhere to go. Now, it's not practical to leave Delhi for everybody. You can go to Goa, you can go to any other place, but it's not practical. And we have to have a long-term plan for this. It's not working. We see it coming every year. But day in and day out, we're doing nothing about it. And whatever we seem to be doing doesn't seem to be working. I mean, I'm admitting patients every day with aggravating symptoms of lungs, asthma, pneumonia. It's all happening out here in Delhi.
Speaking, doctor, what percentage rise have you seen in patients with related ailments in, let us say, the last, 10, 12 days? Could you give us a rough approximation? What percentage?
I would say if I see 20 patients in a day, right now, at least 50%, 10 to 12 patients are coming with some sort of chest discomfort, dry hacking cough, sore throat, stuffy nose, headache, dizziness. All these symptoms I will attribute to this toxic air that we are breathing right now. And in the long run, as I said, it can at times lead to a cardiac event. It can lead to stroke and affects your blood sugar levels. Everything can happen to you. And as I said, Diwali around the corner, it's going to get worse in the coming days. I don't see it improving at least for the next 2 weeks, unless we do something dramatic.
Just take a look at one of the images I was talking about. This is the Punjab farm fire situation. It's Punjab and Haryana. The numbers in Punjab much higher. So this is actually of the latest image of yesterday. This comes from NASA. And as you can see, it's well over 1,000 dots over there, which indicates that all of Punjab has farm fires in all the agricultural areas. Let's move to the second image, which shows you smoke over North India. The satellites are now picking this up. These aren't clouds. This is actually smoke that you see. And the image you see over here isn't just India. This is yesterday's image. This is India and Pakistan. It really depends on the wind direction, and NASA satellites are picking this up as well. And the final image that I want to show is this image, which is a pull-out. The areas in red are areas where the farm fires are actually taking place. You can see the haze as well of smoke, and it's devastating at this stage. And the key point is that these were images of 24 hours back, approximately 1:30 p.m. yesterday. The new imagery will actually give you a better idea of what we are seeing here, because it wasn't as bad yesterday. So when those images come tomorrow, we'll be able to perhaps see that smoke haze which is enveloping Delhi at this stage. Jyoti, we've been discussing this for years and years, and I'll repeat a question which is a bit of a cliche. But if I repeated a program which we aired on this subject 10 years back, and I repeated that program right now, other than the fact that I've got a bunch of gray hair now, topically, would anything change? Because to me, nothing has changed. I mean, I would ask the same questions. I would have the same guests. Dr. Tikku would talk of the same ailments. We would talk of the same farm fires. We have better imagery now to drive home the point. That wasn't there. But it's the same thing. Nothing has changed, has it?
No, nothing has changed, except I think people are more aware, thanks to all of us going on and on talking about it, thanks to your repeated questions and the repeated panels. At least people know now what is killing them rather than the, hidden sort of, earlier we didn't even know what this was. We used to call it, I remember when we used to travel in the winter, we used to say the smog has disrupted flights. It's a fog. It's a fog. No one knew that this fog was actually just killing us. And that's the only thing that has changed. There is slightly more awareness. And I won't even say a lot of awareness, because even today, when we talk to people who are not so educated, but who are suffering, because it's an inequity when you have a construction worker who may know that the air quality, that she or he gets a lot more coughing and feels worse, when they are not able to stop going out and getting their daily wage. It's a complete inequity. You and I might be able to put on our air purifiers and work from home, but there are a lot of people, traffic constables, for example, auto rickshaw drivers, they have no option but to be out there in this killer air and continue to work. So yes, nothing has changed. I think this government, all governments, state, center, across the board have let us down. And in fact, I think we are letting our children down by not demanding more accountability and not making pollution an issue of political. I mean, we have to say, give us clean air or step down. That should be the focus. I think we have a match that's playing on the 6th in this terrible air. Today you must have seen what the Indian captain has said about air quality. Yeah. But yet we have in Delhi on Monday, I believe we are playing a cricket match. So how do you expect young people, the entire Indo-Gangetic Plain, that's 510 million people, are losing almost 7 to 8 years of their lives. We keep talking about India's young demographic, but you know what we have? We have a sick demographic, and we are making them sick, and we are setting ourselves up for failure. And that's all I can say. We are just our governments are letting us down, and we vote our governments in, so we are letting ourselves down.
Chandrabhushan, we aren't discussing this just for the sake of preserving or protecting our environment. That, of course, has huge benefits at so many levels. We are having this discussion because it's quite clear that this air pollution is killing us. I mean, that's what this is all about. 10 years ago, we wouldn't have had this data. Now there is data from Lancet, from the University of Chicago, from several institutions, NGOs, World Health Organization as well, which clearly links air pollution with death. And the fact is that people are dying in India. The numbers are 1.6 million premature deaths due to air pollution in 2019. The number in India, absolutely whopping. India tops that particular list. So what I fail to understand, and I am asking you this question, and I know you are a leading environmentalist and not necessarily a policymaker at the government level, is that how do people fail to understand that this air pollution is killing us? We will all be living for less durations, and yet it has no impact.
So Vishnu, I think we have to fundamentally understand what causes air pollution and how it is linked to the wider economy. You see, air pollution is nothing but what we burn. And in India, we burn about 2 billion tons of material. So I'm just giving you some statistic to contextualize this debate.
Yes.
Now, out of that 2 billion ton, about 50% is coal. About 1.1 billion ton is coal. About 600 million ton is biomass. We use biomass as cooking fuel. We are burning biomass in Punjab, Haryana, and Western Uttar Pradesh as stubble. So 1.6 billion ton, 1.7 billion ton of all the material we burn is solid fuel. Now, there is no action on solid fuel. No country in the world has been able to reduce pollution without addressing the issue of pollution from solid fuel. We are only addressing the issue of liquid fuel, which is automobile sector, and some work we do on dust emission from construction and other things. But fundamentally, 80% of the air pollution problem we are not addressing. Now, how do you expect air pollution to reduce that? Mm-hmm. So, air pollution, solution for air pollution is also solution for energy transition. If we don't make that energy transition, move away from solid fuel or do much more pollution control from these burning of these fuels, we will continue to have this problem. Think about it. You said 10 years back. I was on your program 10 years back and we were discussing exactly these things.
Yeah.
It is not that governments have not tried doing things for 10 years. We are now reaching Euro 6 in automobile sector. GRAP is operating in Delhi. Construction is banned. DG set is banned. We have moved industries out of Delhi. Whatever was possible, we did. But still the air pollution has not gone down. So there is something which is missing. And what is missing is we are not addressing the fundamental cause of air pollution, which is 60%, 80% of material we burn. We are not controlling that.
Professor
And
Tripathi,
you do not have air pollution reduction in next 10 years if we do not address the issue of coal and biomass. That's what the fundamental problem is.
I take that point completely. Professor Tripathi, just in terms of stubble burning, there were lots of technology solutions which we've discussed in the past. And we were also told that these technology solutions require an ecosystem on the ground, a system to remove stubble, a system where this is converted into biomass, but that it's all very expensive. Is there any technology available which can actually be applied to places like Punjab, Haryana, parts of UP?
Just one thing I would add what Chandrabhushan was telling, that to tell that the pollution has not at all come down, I think probably will be a misleading fact. That, PM 2.5, if you look at whatever limited data we have over Delhi, has come down by 1/3 in last about 7-8 years. And that was well recognized fact. It is true that while we see over a long term there is a decrease, the extreme episodes still occur. And that is what we have to deal with. So I think we need to delineate the extreme episodes from the overall, trend in the PM 2.5 during, let's say, longer time of winter months. Now, coming back to the specific question you have asked, I think at pilot scale, many things are being tried, but how to scale it up and how do we basically align that with the overall agrarian economy of Punjab and Haryana so that, we have a way that, the overall economics of this can also be addressed. That is, I think, is a very critical question, which I think we are still struggling with. And there we need to make some progress.
Professor Tripathi, when you say that PM 2.5 and other counts are much lower than what they were a few years back, is it not also true that this decline has come because of the 2 COVID years? Where people were not out of their houses, industrial output went down massively, and therefore air pollution was lower. In fact, air pollution over Delhi was almost not there on certain days, and therefore would it?
I agree. Yeah, I agree with you that those two are outliers. But still, if you look at Delhi data carefully, starting from 2016 when they started ramping up the network, you would find that long-term trend is a decreasing PM 2.5 over NCR and even over Delhi. In fact, I was looking even over Haryana, just out of curiosity before coming to your program, that over very limited time series of the data, it shows some decrease in Haryana. But I totally agree that these extreme episodes, which are an outcome of combined coupled effect of these large biomass, farm burning, stubble burning, and aggravated meteorology, I think there we need to think about cutting down or changing the emission norms substantially. And what Chandrabhushan was telling, that transitioning to the cleaner fuel needs to be speeded up. And I must add that these transitions and clean air, solutions have not been easy and have not been obtained anywhere you look into the history of the development. I can name that still cities like London, who have so much of infrastructure, a much larger human resource available to deal with the problem, still often have to struggle with this problem, living summer of London, living summer of Paris.
But sir, on the other hand, look at what has happened in Beijing. Beijing has been able to fix their air pollution dramatically. There are other cities in China which have done the same.
But still, still Beijing has started from 110 and 20, and they have come down to 50 microgram, 45 microgram.
Right.
They have not come, they are struggling to bring it down below 45.
So should we not aim to get to that level? Because where are we now? Today we are talking in a city which is at more than 400 AQI, parts of Delhi 999 just on PM 2.5, right? The World Health Organization upper limit for PM 2.5, I believe is 15 micrograms. We are looking at 999 in Anand Vihar, and that's because the machine doesn't measure more.
I agree with you that individual, as I said, that extreme episodes. I again don't want to compare here that just last year when there was large forest fire over California, you could pick up stations in Los Angeles where monitors are broken. So that those data set cannot reflect on California or Los Angeles overall air quality. So I think these, as I said, that we need to have several kind of approaches, one to deal with the long-term air quality, and that requires that even summertime we have to deal with when we become very happy that air quality is very good. Still, we don't actually kind of comply with the national air quality.
And it doesn't compare with what it should be. Jyoti, go ahead.
I don't understand what air quality is very good means, because I have never seen Delhi air quality. I've lived here for the last 10 years. I have never seen it come to even the good levels. You know, there have been 2 days. You want 2 days of good air and 365 days of bad, poor, etc. I mean, we all know that there is no safe level for pollution. The World Health Organization has said that. In many other organizations have said that there is no safe level. So trying to say that, comparing and saying we have come down a little bit is not what we need. We need urgent action. This is the way we acted during COVID, is the way where we have, every time you tried to make a call, you got a message saying this is what is happening, please wear your masks. None of that is happening. Yeah. No one is told to wear masks. This is an actual emergency. At least try and protect the people from the exposure to this terrible air. Instead, you're having all these runs happening, the marathons happening, people playing national, international matches happening. That is normalizing air pollution, and that is exactly my problem with people who say, who quote data that says we have brought it down a little bit. A little bit is not what we need. We are dying, and we are dying. Try and tell somebody whose parent has had a heart attack after Diwali because of high episodic air pollution that, through the year it was not bad. Try and tell people who are losing loved ones because of air pollution that, actually air quality has improved since these years. It has not improved. It's getting worse across the country. Look at Mumbai today. Mumbai was never so bad. Mumbai is now becoming unlivable. Every city, there is no part of India. I think even Goa is burning all the time. This open waste burning needs to stop immediately. And we need to penalize the polluters strictly. That's the only solution. There are already laws that are not being enforced. And if they were enforced, we would actually have lower air pollution. Those laws, existing laws, are not enforced. Then what are we talking about new policies?
I would suggest there is no political will across political parties on bringing this down unless it becomes an issue in elections, which it doesn't show any sign of becoming. How many of our political parties are going to be campaigning on the plank of clean air? Nobody.
No, and Vishnu, we have had a G20 summit. We are on the moon and we can't clean our air. Are you telling me that we can send satellites, we can send things up to the moon where the NASA is apparently asking us for our technology, but we can't clean the air that we breathe, that young children, there's somebody who has a 2-month-old who is trying to get out of Delhi. There are elderly people who are dying because of this. We can do everything else. We can have a clean city for G20, but we can't have clean air to breathe for the citizens living across the Indo-Gangetic plain. It's not just Delhi,
it is a crisis. And once again, as I wrap this up, it's not a Delhi problem we are talking about. The air pollution of North India affects millions of people across states, not even getting into West India on this program. I'd like to thank you all very much for being with us. I suspect I'll be back next year talking about this theme, perhaps with the same fantastic guests. But the question is this: will things fundamentally change? What are the chances of that to really take place?